Welcome back to our chat app tutorial series. In this video, we are going to create our first Node.js server and our first API with Express.js. Now I'll open our VS Code. Let's create folder for application. We'll open folder, or we'll go to file here and the open folder. We'll create new folder. First of all, let's choose the location where we want to create the folder. Then we'll choose any name we want for our application. Chat app. I will open the folder inside our VS Code. Now let's initialize our new Node.js app. We open the terminal inside our VS Code by pressing Ctrl backtick and npm init-y. So here it has generated the package.json file. This file contains all the information about our application, the script to run our application, the dependency. Now let's install our first dependency, which is Express. Npm install Express. So we successfully installed Express. Now let's create our backend server. We'll create a folder, we'll call it backend. You can choose to call it whatever name you wish. So I call it backend. Inside the backend folder, we'll create a new file called server.js. So for us to name it this server.js, we have to also come to MERN here and change this index.js to server.js. If we wish to keep the index.js, we have to name this file index.js. So now we'll import the Express package we just installed, Express, from Express, or inside quotation. Okay. So by default it is required, but we are using imports. So for us to use this import, we have to come to this package.json file and add type. So by default it is common.js, but we'll choose this module so that now we can use this import. Now the next thing is to create our Express variable, cons app express. Now we'll listen to our app when we start our application. App.listen. Now you can keep any port number you want, 3000, 5000, 6000, but I choose to keep 3000. Now we'll log in whatever information you want it to display whenever we start our application. Server is running on port 3000. Okay. Now we'll start our server, node, then the location of our server, which is inside backend folder, backend/server server.js. Now you can see we successfully started our server on port 3000. So instead of running this script anytime we are starting our server, this node backend/server.js, we can create a custom script. In our development mode, we use dev, and then our deployment mode, we use start as npm start. So now let's kill our server and start it again by running this command npm run dev. As you can see, it will start our, see, it does the same thing by starting our server on port 3000. Okay, now let's go on and create our first Express API. App.get. Now get is one of the HTTP requests. We have get, post, delete, put which is update, and we'll use all of them when we're building this application. Now get, inside get, we'll have /route. Whenever we visit this /route, it will do something. Now the next parameter is callback function, which takes request and the response. Request is when we'll get data or any object from the front end, and response is when we'll send back the data or API to the front end. So let's send response to this /route, which is response.send. So what are we sending there? We'll send this message: server is ready. So now let's go to our browser, localhost.3000. That is the port number we choose. Now cannot get, we need to restart our server. Anytime we make changes, we have to restart our server. Now when we come back and refresh, you see server is ready. That is the response we'll send to this /route. Server is ready. Now to avoid repeating to restart our server anytime we make any changes, we'll have to install this package called MERN. So kill our server and install npm install MERN. So as you can see, I have successfully installed MERN, and here instead of using this node in our development mode, we use MERN. Now let's start our server. As you can see, MERN is starting our server for us. Now you can see if we make any changes again, let's see. Server is ready to go, and once we save it, you can see it restarts our server automatically. We don't need to to restart it manually. Now if we refresh our browser, you see server is ready to go. So that's nice. Now another thing is, if we don't want to make this our port number to be public, we can hide it using .env package. First of all, we'll install the package .env. Okay, the server, and run the command npm install .env. So as you can see, it has been installed successfully. .env. Now we'll create .env file. .env. So you give it variable name port equals to the number, which is 3000. Then when we come here, first of all we import the .env file. Import .env from .env. Okay, and here we will initialize it .env config. Okay, and now we'll create the port variable const equals to process .env the variable name, which is port. Now we can use this variable name port inside this and remove this 3000 and use the port. And also here we have to remove this quotation mark and use backtip and remove the 3000 and open curly braces and the variable name 3000. Now let's restart our application. As you can see, server is running on port 3000. Now we are no longer using the 3000 here. It's no longer public. So that's good. Now next thing, let's upload our file to GitHub. First of all, we'll clear our browser, our terminal, and git init to initialize our GitHub. Git init. So as you can see, and the next is git add all. The dot means to add all the files. See all the files. Then now we'll commit with a message git commit -m. Then what is the name we're going to give our the name Node.js installation. Okay. Now we'll go to our browser and go open GitHub. So now I've opened our GitHub. We'll come here and click this plus icon to create our new repository. And here we can choose our repository name, chat application. So here in our description, write Node.js installation. And here we can choose to make it private or we'll leave it public. And now we'll create our repository. So here, we'll copy this and come back to and again we'll copy this to our branch and we'll come back and push it to our main origin branch. So now we have successfully pushed our file to GitHub, and now when we refresh, as you can see, a minute ago, you can see our file, So now, thank you for watching the video. So I'll see you in the next video where we'll create our React app, where we'll be sending all the data we're creating here in the backend. So see you in the next video. Thank you.